We have an awesome show for you today. We're going to go through the ID at Xbox Showcase. 12 games were shown off, and we're going to give you the rundown right now. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Xbox A. I'm Matt. That's Court. Court, how the heck are you today? I got my Timmies. How about you? How you doing, brother?
I got my green on.
Oh yeah, happy St. Patty's Day. I got green lights and a green cord. Isn't that good enough for you?
But it's good enough for me, and so was the showcase yesterday. It's kind of funny. Before we get into the games that are announced, I have one thing that I would like to happen in the future.
Okay,
with
go.
these showcases. I would, and this is just my opinion, I would just like them to show games. Only games. Like, have an intro, someone come on and be like, hey, here's the games. Boom. Games. Then, after the fact, say, hey, go to our YouTube page and we're going to have dev diaries on each game. So you can learn more about the game if you choose.
I'm with
that
you.
Will too give them it'll give them more than one beat on it. It will give them the showcase. It won't be as long. And it'll be easier to digest. It'll be easier for content creators to follow along with it and just react. And then it would also give beats and also show them what people are interested in after the fact. Which games are people more drawn to? So it would give them more information, and it would also help for me to only go to the games that I thought spoke to me through the showcase.
I'm totally with you. And I think across the board, not even just for indie games, but even larger tentpole titles, I don't always have interest in sitting there, nor do any of us always have the time to sit and invest an hour to 2 hours of a dev diary. Like sometimes I like to see what Naughty Dog is doing or Insomniac, for example, and I'll sit there and listen for a bit. But I also want to be able to get to the main beats of it to learn something new. And
or 343 or some sort of Microsoft Studio.
Yes, those as well are also on point and on brand, my friend. But yes, regardless of the studio, regardless of the brand, I wish that some of the dev diaries, they would do them separately and allow viewers to experience it the way they want as well. And it lets you speak directly to your audience, because if you put those things on YouTube or Twitch and you stream the dev diary, you know you're getting an audience that is passionate and very interested and curious about what you are presenting versus an entire thing all mixed in. I think the counter to that is probably, well, we got the most eyeballs here for this platform for the showcase. If we don't intertwine it all, then
But my argument to that is that you can lose people through those eyeballs.
Yes.
If someone's watching it, they're like, all right, so I'm just not interested in how long is this going to be. And then what if they don't go back? But if you say to them, hey, it's a half an hour showcase. We're showcasing 12 games. Bang, 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 bang. You could find another audience for games they didn't know. And then literally say at the end, hey, and it gives another beat. It gives more stuff going on. You can showcase those games after, because you're like, oh, we've got this separate video that has a dev diary after it as well. Here, go to our YouTube page. Boom, 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 boom. It's giving more of a marketing beat, and it's giving each individual game its time to shine.
Let's talk about the event itself. Zachary Body over at Windows Central has a write-up. Xbox Game Pass gaining 12 titles shown off during the ID at Xbox Showcase, including Tunic, which has already come out and released on Xbox Game Pass.
I've played it.
Yeah, I was going to say, we'll talk about that in a second when we run through it here, sir. The ID at Xbox program provides the tools and resources necessary for developers to bring their games to Xbox consoles and Windows PCs. But it also regularly hosts streams and events to showcase those upcoming titles. They just finished airing it, and we got a good look at what these titles will be and what's coming out and when. The headline title for the ID at Xbox Showcase Xbox Game Pass announcements is indubitably, awesome word, Tunic, a mesmerizing puzzle-filled action-adventure title that captured hearts of interest of players long before its release. Tunic is available to play starting today, March 16th, and joins Paradise Killers and as the two surprise Xbox Game Pass launches players can dive into after ID at Xbox Showcase. Escape Academy, the first game published by IM 8-Bit, also made an appearance during the event. The 12 titles court are the following, and then we'll stop at Tunic here because I want to get your thoughts on it. We have Crusader Kings 3 for Xbox.
Which originally was only on PC, and now it will be on consoles. I'm excited about that game.
March 29th, Tunic, Series X and S optimized Xbox One cloud gaming PC. It's on everything. March 16th. Talk to me about Tunic. What was your experience with it? Because I haven't had a chance to turn it on yet.
So I have played it. It felt a lot like Death's Door, especially the art style. I haven't I've played for just about over an hour. Um, my only gripe so far from the game is so you're this little tiny little fox, which my daughter thought was the cutest thing ever, and then you get a weapon right off the start, which is a stick, and then you go around and you figure out puzzles and you figure out ways to get over to certain areas of the map.
Okay.
You have enemies that attack, and you find little pieces of paper throughout the levels that are technically the manual
Okay.
and tutorials.
Yep.
Which is weird, but you know, it is what it is. And then you find statues or little areas where you click on it, and the wording just says yes or no, and it has this gibberish that I can't read. Which, as someone that is a huge story-driven gamer,
Yeah.
that's tough for me. That I'm not getting any lore, I'm not getting anything brought to me. I'm going to continue to play it because I do like. I was a big fan of Death's Door, and I hate comparing to games, but I'm just art direction. It's not as hard as Death's Door so far, but I'm liking the puzzles. I have found myself so close already to being like, all right, I'm just gonna watch a walkthrough so I can figure out how to do this. Go
Okay, it's
through,
one
but
of
I'm
those.
trying to give it its time. I couldn't give you an impression on whether I like the game or not yet.
No, fair.
I'm not enjoying myself, but I'm going to give it a little bit more before I give an opinion on it.
We've also got Immortality for Series X and S coming summer of 2022. Trek to Yomi is Series X and S and Xbox One, which is spring 2022.
And that's the game that was shown at the PlayStation Showcase.
Okay. Yep.
That looks amazing. It's a day and date on Game Pass. That game looks unbelievable. The art style, the art direction, it just looks, and it looks fun.
I'm also looking at like literally as we have the footage here on screen of the showcase condensed version. I'm looking at what games I'm like, oh, this looks good. This looks good. So we also have Escape Academy, which is coming in for Xbox Series X and S. Escape Academy and Xbox One. Escape Academy is coming out for 2022. There's a Gerst Golf I want to see too. Shredders. Series X and S and optimized for Xbox Game Cloud PC March 17th. It's out. Court, you have already turned this on. I was excited. I say was. Then you talked to me. Yeah, you ruined it. What's up with Shredders? Your first impressions, I guess.
My first impressions, I have played it for over 2 hours. And right off the bat, there was this long loading screen. And I was like, next gen game, long loading screen. And then I was finding some stuttering while playing the game. And this is a game that I was very excited for. I truly do like the controls, but I was finding some weirdness. Like when I'm doing a jump, you got to hold down the trigger, and you go, and then to do a spin, you got to hold it. And the reaction wasn't there. Like I'm holding it, and like the guy's slowly doing a spin. I don't know. Maybe there needs to be a patch. It seems like it doesn't run well, if that's a way to say. It looks good. I love the accents. It's I love the setting. It's fun, but it's weird. I was hoping for some high paced action, so like you're going down and you're just doing flips and you're doing all these things, and I feel like my reaction is I'm doing it and nothing is happening, and then I start doing the motion. So I'm gonna try it more, but yeah, so far I'm meh.
Oh, that's too bad. One game that is not on the list here, but it's shown off in the trailers and it's shown off in Windows Central for the trailers. Now I'll speak to it because I saw it announced yesterday. WrestleQuest, ID at Xbox.
That looks amazing.
Yeah. Okay. It's got Macho Man. It's pixel art style. It's got Andre the Giant. Oh, I'm into it.
I was gonna say that looks amazing.
They don't have a breakdown of it, but just looking at the trailer itself in the background, it's turn-based mechanics. And I'm just like,
well, it looks a
fun.
lot like the Golf Quest games and so on and so forth. So, and I thoroughly enjoy playing those on my Switch. So I'm excited to play this game. And as a fan of Macho Man, the 90s wrestling, like I'm in.
Yeah. Let's continue down. Flintlock, The Siege of Dawn, Xbox Series X and S and Xbox One for 2022. Floppy Knights, unknown platforms, 2022. Paradise Killer, Series X and S and optimized for Xbox One, cloud gaming PC. That's March 16th. That one's already out. Kraken Academy, Xbox Series X and S. Beacon Pines, Xbox Series X and S and Xbox One, and it's unknown. And the last one here they have on the list is Citizen Sleeper, Series X and S, Xbox One, and it's also unknown for when it's going to release. Court, your overall impressions of the showcase itself. For me, I know Shredders, looking forward to. Now Bummer, Crusader Kings 3 looks good. Tunic, I'm going to turn on. And the wrestling game there, WrestleQuest, is for me. What say you?
For me, I usually actually will download almost every ID at Xbox game that lands on Game Pass and give them a whirl. Death's Door I bought. It wasn't on Game Pass originally. That was a game I purchased at launch because I liked looking at the art style of it, and I enjoyed my time with that game. It beat the living daylights out of me. But most of these ID at Xbox games and the stuff in the showcase, if they show up on Game Pass, I'm gonna give it a try, and we'll never know if I like it or not until I try it, right? I don't want to say whether it looks this or that.
Yeah.
The Ascent was a game where I thought looked amazing, and then when I played it, I was like, yeah, I guess this is just not for me. Maybe the cyberpunk aesthetic is not for me. I think that's something I've decided now. From moving forward, that aesthetic is not for me.
That's a good thing to figure out. But you know what? What I do appreciate overall is for someone like me who plays more of these smaller indie titles, like you, where I'm like, I'm gonna try this one out. I'm gonna try this one out. What I love is, and this is the big push over. I'm gonna put over Game Pass here. Game Pass as a service gives these titles more of a stage and presence and an opportunity for players like me to actually download it, to actually play it. I think of WrestleQuest, for example, a game that I would see online and go, oh, that looks neat. But if I had to pay for it individually, I probably wouldn't. Unless it looked like something that is truly going to speak for me. But as a smaller title, I'd probably pass on it. But because it's going to be on Game Pass and all these other titles, it gives me the opportunity to sit there and go, yes, I'm going to download 3, 4, 5 of these games and try them out for an hour, 2 hours, 20 minutes, whatever. But at least I'm giving it a shot. And that's what I like about the service overall. It's giving a shot at more of these titles, more exposure.
100% agree. That's the best thing about it. And that's why I wish they would do, hey, games, separate dev diaries, so we get to meet the devs and we have their own separate little time to shine on the channel.
100%. Let us know in the comments below, what did you guys think of the entire ID at Xbox showcase? Hit us up in the comments below, subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, do all the fun stuff, and join us for a little Timmy's here. Court. It's roll up the rim time.
Yeah, just show it on your phone. It's not that big of a deal.
Do you ever stop it? Do you ever win anything good?
No, I'm not allowed.
Not allowed. Well, that's interesting. Well, that's a different conversation for another day. Thanks so much for watching, everybody, and we'll see you on the next episode.